is Noreen from Joya Cards, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Yay! For more of my Stampin' Up! Card videos, make sure you click on the subscribe button and the little bell, and you'll be alerted when my videos come up. Also, I give away the demo card, so if you're a first-time subscriber, put your email in the comments and I will email you back and you'll see if you're the first one to win. Now, this video has 3 demo cards, so you have 3 chances to win. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're doing is we are doing the Hey Chick and Hey Birthday Chick. This one is the only one that's in the catalog. This one is one they brought back. So you can order this now, and also it has dies to go with it this time because it didn't have dies before. And they also just now ordered, and it's not in the catalog, the dies that go with Hey Birthday Chick. So these are fantastic, and I love the chick, and I happened to have this one from actually before, but not the original before, because I always wanted it, and then it retired, and then I asked one of my group of ladies in my huge Stampin' Up! Demonstrator group if they could find me one. They found it about a year ago, and I just love the chicken. So, and you know, if you ever want to be a demonstrator, I've got a huge group of women that we are an awesome community, and it's lots of fun. So anyway, let's make some cards. The first card I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you 3 cards, and we're going to make one, but I wanted to show you a few things that I made. So this one was really cute. I kind of did the inlaid rectangle stitched frames, and I cut these out, and they're just 2 chickens, you know, talking to each other, and then I colored this in. So this was kind of one of my ideas. And then another idea was on a slimline card, which is, if you haven't done one, it's a 9x8, and then you score it at 4. And I just cut this out. I made 2 of these signs in 2 different colors, and I cut one and I put it on top. So that's how I did that. I did the same thing with the chicken coop, as I cut it twice in 2 different colors and then just layered them on top. And then I took rectangle stitch frames and took the smallest one and cut it down, because you could just lay them over each other and make them smaller. So that's always a good thing. And then I thought this was really pretty. And then I took this in the silver foil, all the chicken wire, and I cut out the thing. So I thought this was a cute idea. Here's my second card. Here's my third card that we're going to make here. So this is an outhouse, and we're going to adjust it to make it look more like a little outhouse. And I got my chick, and it says best of luck, like he's going to the outhouse, wishing him luck, you know what I mean. And then inside it says, hey, birthday, happy birthday, you're still spring chicken, referring to the fact that he needs luck in the outhouse. Yeah, it's just my funny little twisted humor. So we're going to make this look more like an outhouse, because I showed it to my husband. He thought it was a barn. It's like, no, it's an outhouse. It's got the little moon on it. So we're gonna alter a bit. And I also altered the stamp, because the stamp actually is too big for the sign, but I altered it, and I'll show you that. So the first thing you're going to need is a 5.5 by 4 1/4 in soft suede. And then we're also going to use a basic black in the 5.5 by 4 1/4, so the whole length of the card, and go ahead and snail it up. Now that you've got the black piece snailed up on the card, now you're going to take a piece of shimmery white, because we're going to do some blending here. Shimmery white works best when you blend. So this shimmery white is 5 1/4 by 4. Now we're going to do some blending. Now this one's kind of nice because I don't have to mask anything, because the only thing we're stamping on it would be the clouds, and it doesn't matter. So the first color we're going to use for kind of the grassy area is Old Olive. And since there's not a lot of it, I'm not going to blend it with any other color. And then, like this dirt path, you know, dirt path up to the outhouse, we're going to use Crumb Cake and a little soft suede. Kind of mix up the color, because I always mix it up. And then this sky, I'm going to use Balmy Blue, and I'm also going to stamp the clouds with it, and I'm going to mix it with a little Seaside spray. Now, in the new catalog, Stampin' Up! Has come out with these blending brushes, and these are fantastic. So grab one of the blending brushes and a piece of scratch paper. Oh, by the way, this recipe here is amazing. I always take my scrap paper and use it for my videos and stuff. And oh my God, if you can get this, it's pork tenderloin. It's one of those Chef John ones. It's amazing. amazing pork tenderloin Diablo. Anyway, so that's on the back. A little bonus with my card video. You get a recipe. So take one of the blending brushes, open your balmy blue and Seaside spray, and we're going to cover like half. So when you do this, you always stamp it, stamp off, and then kind of roll it in circles here. And I always just use 2 colors just because I do, but about half the page. And then I'm not going to worry about these 2 blues. Just kind of wipe this off and then go into your Seaside spray, tap it off and roll it in a little bit. It just gives it a little something, something. It changes the color just slightly. So that's the blue. Now take a different blending brush and your crumb cake and tap it off. And we're going to do like the little path up to the outhouse here. My crumb cake's a little dry, and it all depends on how wet your Stampin' pads are. And I normally never like add anything to it right before I do something important. I'd rather have them dry than too wet, because that can actually change the color too. So don't over ink your pads. And I'm going in with a little bit of soft sway just to give it a little bit of extra something, something. So that is our path. I'm switching my brush again, and I'm going into my Old Olive, and we're going to give it some grass just between the path, or around the path there. Whoopsie, forgot to tap off. And get it around the path there. And maybe go over the in between a tiny little bit. And you don't need a lot of this, so that is good. Now for the clouds. Now I normally a lot of my videos I use other stamp sets as well, and here's one that I use a lot because it has some great clouds in it. So I'm going to take my balmy blue, and this is one of the clear stamps, so you do need some kind of stamp pad. And if you're going to stamp, even put your ink pad on there as well. And then I'm going to grab a piece of paper again, and I like to stamp off my clouds off the paper, and then I'll just put one here, and I'll put one here, and that'll do the clouds. Now let's make the outhouse. Now I'm going to do this a little different from the original one, and that is I'm going to make it a little smaller and a little narrower, and I'm going to not have it go up to the edge so it looks like it's a small building. So I made this main part of the building 1 1/4 by 2 1/2, and then I took my cutter and I just sliced the top in an angle. And then this piece that goes on the top, the actual roof piece, this is 1/4 by 1 3/4. The door is 1 by 1/2 inch, and the little hinges are just little tiny, I don't even know what they are, like 1/8 of an inch by 1/4 of an inch or something like that. So just cut off a couple little ends. That doesn't need to be a major measurement. So let's put that together. And when you're choosing it, okay, so these are in good taste, and these have all these wood colors. So I made my main part of my building darker than my roof. So my roof, the doors and the hinges are a lighter color than the main one. So just go through all your in good taste one and grab the scraps, and just grab these wood ones and choose your colors. I'm going to put all these pieces together. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the roof. Put actually your glue on the house here instead of the roof. And I'm going to match this corner up with the corner of the building and bring it down like so. And then glue on the door and the hinges. So I've got my tweezers here that I'm using, and I'm going to glue on the door like this, and the hinges will go on the door like that. And grab this one and put it on like that. And then I'm going to grab one of the matte black dots, the small one, and I'm going to give it a little handle. And then I'm going to take the black Stampin' Up. This thing is great. This is in the catalog. You can place orders with me too. Anyway, and this, you could buy just this one. It's like $4. And I'm going to draw a little moon, because in an outhouse at night, you got to have some light. There's no electricity in there. That's why you're in an outhouse. So put on the little crescent moon here. And like that. So that's how you make the little house. Now let's put our outhouse on the card. So just go ahead and snail it up. and you're going to put it up high and give it space so everybody knows this is an outhouse, unlike this one. So I've got that on the card. Grab your dies, and birthday chick and chick dies, one of them has the fence and the other has the sign. And I want you to make 2 of the fences in the soft suede and 2 of the signs, but 1 in soft suede and 1 in crumb cake. Now take the lighter one, which is crumb cake, and cut off the poles so you just have this piece. Now the little tricky part. This is how I made this sign, because that is what the original stamp looks like. So we're going to take our Stampin' Write marker, and now Stampin' Writes are to write on stamps. That's their job. So the black one is a great one to get. Like I said, they're like $4. If you want the whole set, it's actually a great investment because they have all the colors from Stampin' Up. So especially if you're a demonstrator, then I would definitely get the whole set. But they do sell them in like the different color combinations, so you can buy like a third of it. So I am only coloring in best. So I'm coloring this all in, and then I'm gonna give it a little breath. And I don't need a Stampin' Pad because this is one of the thick orange stamps. I might have to stick my head in the camera, and I'm going to put this kind of in the upper left hand corner and go down. I'm going to hold the sign here with my left hand, pull up with my right, and here's best. I'm going to grab my chamois case here and my chamois and clean that off real quick, and then I'm going to color in of. Just did of. I'm going to give it a little breath, and if you accidentally hit one of the letters of the other word, just wipe it off. Start again. Now this might take you a couple practices. Fortunately, this little die isn't a big deal to cut again. So best of, and of will go off a little bit. Grab your chamois and wipe it off again. And then we're going to, now this one says cluck, but we don't want cluck, we want luck. So only color in luck and avoid the C and any of the letters, you know, of. If you get accidentally hit of, wipe it off. And the explanation point, just have luck. I'm gonna breathe on it. And then gotta line it up again. Excuse if I put my head in the camera. I'm gonna try to hold down that left, pull up with my right. Best of luck. So that's how I did that. Now I'm gonna snail that lighter piece onto the darker piece, and we've got this sign. And then I can go ahead and put on the fence because we're done with the fence. So you can snail that up as well. And I'm gonna, now this is a little longer than the card, so do one side and then do the other side. And when you line it up, just put this side on first, and it should just overlap, or put this on top of, just overlap it like so. So there's going to be a little piece hanging off, so you can see that, but it looks like one continuous fence line. And then you can go ahead and cut that piece off. Now to the chicken. Now I debated on whether or not I wanted to use shimmery white because I will be blending, or very vanilla, and I've decided at the last second that I'm going with very vanilla because everything else in the card is kind of dark or masculine, so I don't want that stark white around it. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up, and this is the orange stamp, so I don't need a Stampin' Pad, and just Memento is fine. And there we go. Coloring my chicken here, I'm going to use dark petal pink, and I'm going to do this first. I'm going to grab his nose, so I got right on his nose, and I'm going to do his feet. For his body, I'm using dark Daffodil Delight, and I really probably should have used Stays On because it will bleed a little bit more with Memento when I'm coloring, but go ahead and do a solid color. I don't think you need to worry about shading or anything because this is like a cartoony kind of stamp. I don't think you need it for stuff like that. So I'm going to fill in his body and I'll be right back. So there's his body. Now I did try to avoid hitting the black lines with the ink because it will kind of smear a little bit. So that's the body. And then I'm going to do dark real red on the pointy end here and do his tail and his hair. So there's the hair. Now I use dark real red here. I use cherry cobbler here. And if you want to even try to do cherry cobbler and real red and get the two tones, you could do that as well. So there's the chicken. Now all you have to do is take its little die from Chick Dies and die cut it out. So I'm going to go do that. What we need to do is dimensional it up. Now on the sign, go ahead and take the mini dimensional, or if you want to use a large one if you don't have the minis, and cut it in half and put it on the sign there. So I'm going to dimensional these up. Got the dimensionals on, and I'm going to go ahead and put the chicken over here. And then I'll take the sign, and like he's holding it, like he's going, yeah, good luck with that because you're old. And put it right here. And then we'll go ahead and get it on our card base. I'm going to go ahead and snail the card front here because there's a lot going on there. And put them on like so. That's the front of the card. Now let's do the inside of the card. Inside's pretty easy. This is 5 1/4 by 4. This is 3.75 by 5. Go ahead and snail up your decorative piece. Now this is that In Good Taste, and this is like 3/4 of an inch by 5, so it goes on the length of the card here. I would do that first. And then go ahead and grab your Memento again, and I went ahead and stamped up Happy Birthday. Make sure it's not upside down. And put it right there. And then you're still a spring chicken, kind of making fun of the whole outhouse thing on the front, which I thought was pretty amusing. And then snail this up and put it on, and basically that is the card. I'll just stick it on here real quick. If you are a first-time subscriber, don't forget you got to put an your email in the comments. I can't just talk to you unless you're constantly checking your YouTube comments. But you can put your email there, or you can email me at Noreen@joyofcards.com and say, oh, I love the card, the chicken card or whatever, tell me which one, and I'll email you back and let you know if you want one of these 3 cards, and just let me know if you want the Outhouse card. And I think this looks better, you know, it's an Outhouse more than this one, so I like how I scaled that down. And I think I changed something else, but I can't remember. So, and then there's also this one if you want that one or this one. So that is my card. Thanks. Bye.